listening for that hook.
Yeah. You're listening.
You're listening to Inside Real Estate, your source for all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. This is Paul Apostolakis. We've got Salvatore Cusmano. We got Brad Weisgerber. We are Inside Real Estate. I think this is one of the last shows of the year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We have a really special guest, Mark Shaftner. He is from Keller Williams Domain. He is part of Metro Group, or you run Metro Group, right? Through that.
Actually.
Okay. There's an
breaking
All right. Here we go.
We are already off track here. Yeah. No more Metro Group. Actually.
No more.
No more. Yeah.
Well, it's in your signature.
I should probably work on it. That's how fresh and new that is. Yeah.
What happened with that? I'm just curious.
Well, we'll jump right into it, won't we, guys? It was in June, actually. I was with my business partner, Matt Marsupian, still a great friend of mine. We still talk on a weekly basis. And we just decided at that point that it made more sense for us to all go our separate ways and just be our own solo agents. We had 6 people working for us, and everybody has landed on their feet, and they're all out doing
Perfect.
Being solo agents and kicking ass.
Yeah. Often you need an experience like that to level up, right? Like everyone kind of levels up on their own.
Yeah. So that's I know you guys typically start with a little bit of my story.
Yeah, you got a storied background. I mean, you've been around. I'm sorry, we just jumped into that because that whole thing. But yeah, no, you've been around for a while. You've run teams. You've done big teams. You've done lots of numbers. So you've kind of done a little piece of everything in this business for over the years. So talk to me about how the biggest question I always have, and we always talk about this, how did you get into real estate, right? Well, how did you? Everybody gets in it in different ways.
Yeah. Well, I graduated from Central Michigan in 2000. Fire up
chips.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody?
Central girls.
Central? Yeah.
I partied there a few times.
Yeah,
That's my boy right there.
You know Jimmy?
Yeah, I know Jimmy.
I was just talking to him last
No
week.
way.
I still have a T-shirt
man.
that says "Fuck West."
Is he still at Live?
He's still at Live.
God bless him.
Yeah, I actually sent some people to him last weekend
Awesome.
for Art Basel.
Nice.
Yeah, Jimmy and I were in the same fraternity. Anyway,
So was
digress.
Tom Lauer.
Yeah,
Tom Lauer's he stood up at my wedding.
I really.
Yeah.
I grew up with Tom.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go way back.
was it?
Tommy and Mike.
Theta Chi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theta Chi.
Yeah.
So I graduated in 2002. When at that time, when you graduated from Central, there was like one job to get. If I had a major in communication. I minored in marketing. I was going to go into sales, some sort of sales. You could work at, Enterprise Rent a Car. You could work for Sherwin Williams, and the prize job was to work for Pulte Homes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
they were established.
Yeah,
big company.
They recruited pretty heavily at Central and at Western. And I remember somebody that I knew ended up getting a job there, and they were making great money. Actually, what happened was he drove back onto campus, and he drove a year after he graduated. He drove up in a Cadillac, and I was like, "That's the job. That's the one I want right there."
I want that Cadillac.
So I set my sights on getting a job at Pulte. I did. I got an internship there. Got hired in between my junior year and senior year. So I went into my senior year in college knowing I was going to graduate with the job, which was pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
They did say you had to get a 3.5 or better. They said you can, screw around for your last semester. So I graduated, and I found out pretty quickly 2 things. One, I didn't really know anything about real estate. And I didn't know anything about sales. It was a pretty rude awakening. I was working.
You think
with
you could talk to people? I'll be all right.
Yeah, I'll go on charisma or whatever.
It's like college is a joke.
My smile, I'll win. I'll do it. Right.
Exactly. I'll just be charming.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. You're selling $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 homes to people that were buying their second and third home. Here I am, a kid from Grand Ledge, Michigan, who grew up in a 1,200 square foot 3-bedroom home, shared bedrooms with my siblings. The largest home I had ever walked into was the one I walked into on day 1 of my internship.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. But I knew very quickly it was something that I wanted to do. I buddied up with some great mentors, some people that had been doing it for years before I did. And I said, what do you do? How did you do it? And I just sat and I listened and I asked questions to pretty much anybody that would let me sit down across from them. The good thing about this industry is there's plenty of people that, you want me to tell you about me?
Yeah, yes, let's talk about
We
me.
can do that. How much time do you have?
Yeah.
So, and I just mirrored them. The other thing that I did was I had about an hour commute, hour and 20-minute commute. And I started to listen to books and CDs on tape.
Dude, I tell people this all the time. Like, if you're going to be a professional, you got to be a professional, right? And I actually, when I got into sales, I had no idea what sales was either. I did the same thing. I had an hour commute, and I like Zig Ziglar, and I'd listen to all these CDs, and I would
Tracy.
I wanted to immerse myself in sales and understand all of it. Now, not all of it do you take, and does it all stick? No, but it's that process by which you're actually immersing yourself in a profession. So that's interesting. And the other thing is, you actually asked people that were better than you what they were doing, and you emulated that.
Yeah.
It's not too crazy. A lot of people don't want to put that work in sometimes.
I still do it today.
Yeah.
You know, there's still a lot of people that are doing far better than I am, and I'm still a student of the industry. I'm a student of sales. It's funny. My nephew, who's 22 now, and he's getting into sales. He's here. He's going to be working with Art Van. Great,
Oh, nice.
Great
Okay.
local company.
Yeah.
And
They're having a sale soon.
ooh,
They're always having a sale, dude.
it's like Flag Day sale. or
Yeah, it's
something
like
that.
Stars Day.
The day after yesterday. So.
Yeah.
He was at my house, and he's like, "How do you do it?" And we're sitting in my living room, and I say, "You see that book right there on my coffee table? That's a book on sales." I say, "You see that one over there on the side table? That's a book on sales. There's one sitting next to my bed.
Yeah.
That's a book on sales. I've been doing this for 25 years. Wait." Don't let me date myself. For 17 years, and I still am working to get better.
You're a student of the game, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of people that think they reach the pinnacle, and they're like, oh, I don't need any. No, everybody needs to practice. Everybody needs
Professors
to
are students.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're never there. Well, yeah, you would hope so, right?
Right.
Professors are students.
Well, they should be. Yeah,
Lawyers
I mean,
are.
the top professors are still students of their game.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you hire an attorney that didn't have a row of books behind him?
Right.
That hadn't studied more case law.
It doesn't matter how good you are. I mean, I always think about like Michael Jordan. Like if he stopped practicing, he wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
There's no matter how good the talent is, if you don't practice and sharpen your saw, is something I say, then you're not going to be able to continue that level of elite performance.
Yeah,
right?
sharpen the saw, right?
Yeah.
One of the 7 habits. Right?
Yeah.
So, with the other thing that was great with Pulte is they put you through a very long and rigorous training process. I was in training for 8 months, and
Wow, that's a long time.
yeah,
a really
right,
long time.
right, exactly. Most training now is a month, 2 months.
They want you on the floor. They want you out there selling, right?
I was in training for 8 months, and then you have to pass a final role play. Where
I didn't realize
walk through
Pulte was that like buttoned up. To be honest with you, that's interesting.
Right.
Back in the day, it was really tight. It still is to this day. If
Interesting.
anybody's thinking about getting into this career, it's a great place to start. They put you through a final role play where you go through the entire process, and it's an entire day. The manager come and they spend the entire day with you. I failed it twice.
Really?
I failed it twice. They were not going to let me through. My third time, they passed me.
So you persevered.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and then I got into sales, and I worked there for about 5 years. I had a great career. Continued to sharpen the saw, work very hard on my career and become good at it. I trained 5 different salespeople into successful sales careers themselves. And then the market crashed in 2008.
Yep.
And a friend of mine had started a company that was doing very well during the downturn called Marketplace Homes. You guys
Okay.
probably,
Yeah.
you guys remember Marketplace Homes. And
And they had an interesting model, right?
they did, especially during the downturn. They said, if you can't sell your old home,
Yep.
we'll rent it out for you. And if the renter doesn't pay rent, we'll cover it.
We'll cover it. Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it was an insurance policy.
Yeah.
On having it.
But he gave people the opportunity to move out because a lot of people were stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, they were stuck, and it spoke very loudly to the client at that time,
Right.
because it's like they made a commercial that was it was gold. It said, is your family growing? Do you want to move, but you can't because you're underwater?
Which was everybody. A lot of people were in that situation.
Whole
Yeah.
country.
Everybody was,
Yeah.
but
And everybody wanted to better their situation. It's
$200,000 houses that were worth $100,000. What do we do?
Right.
Without foreclosing or doing a short sale? So I went to work there. I was the 7th employee. We grew to over 100. The model evolved from we'll rent out your old home till we'll sell your old home. And, I spent 5 years there. It was incredible. We grew. We had this hockey stick, trajectory and growth. I think we did something around $700,000 in commission my first year. And our third year, we did $13 million in commissions.
That's wild, dude. That's a lot of.
That's more than
that's
a
a lot
hockey
of.
stick.
That's a lot of transactions, right?
Yeah, it was.
a lot of
We
volume.
were doing 75 deals a month.
So that operation must have been pretty robust, right? A lot of moving parts.
That's how we got to 100 employees. Now, we had 100 employees, and 35 of them were agents. So
Yeah, a lot of
took,
support.
Took that much support staff to run the business, and it was great. But in 2015, it wasn't my company. I was the COO of the company, so I ran the operations. I mostly oversaw sales and the marketing side of things. But I really wanted to do my own thing. They had some different philosophies, and I kind of wanted to do some things differently. So in 2015, I said to Matt Marsupian, I said, "What if we went and started our own brokerage? And let's hire full-time people. Let's try to be, the utmost, the highest professional levels."
Sounds like what we did, so. Really, yeah.
We were looking at what exactly to do, and we found a franchise out of Southern California called Next Home. You guys
Yeah,
heard
I
of
have
Next
heard of
Home?
them, yeah.
So we flew out to San Francisco. We met with the folks from Next Home. We loved them. They were great. They had some really fantastic technology that made being a real estate agent easier. That was just included with the franchise package. So we flew out to a few other places and met with some other folks as well to start different brokerages that had no establishment here in Michigan. And we decided to go with Next Home. Started Next Home, and then realized pretty quickly that starting, owning, running, and building a brokerage is a lot of work.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Any business, not just a broker.
And a lot of money too. And here we are, two guys, with our small startup capital, and it ran out pretty quickly.
Yeah, you either got to go out there and produce the shit out of it or like work in it every single day. It's tough.
It was good. We had a fair amount of success our first year. The difficulties that we would have, and I know that we lost recruits and deals because of this, is we would say to people, or people would say to us, "We like you. We like your ideas. What's this Next Home? Never heard of it."
The brand was just not resonating.
It wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And I know we lost recruits because of that. And I know we lost deals because of that. So about a year after starting Next Home, we were like, okay, you can't beat them, join them. And we started looking around. We were going to close Next Home, and we were going to join a brokerage.
Got it.
So we looked around at a few different places, and it made sense for us to move to Keller Williams. Which Keller Williams, we were somewhat undecided. We kind of flipped between the location in Royal Oak and the location in Birmingham, and we decided to go with Birmingham.
Yeah, domain. So everybody knows Keller Williams domain in Birmingham. Birmingham is an interesting city, right? We've talked about this, where it's very bubble-ish. Like you have to get in, it's very old school. There's a lot of boutique type places there that kind of own that market. When Keller Williams went in there, it was the first real big brand that did that, right?
Right.
And they opened up this office, and they really did a great job with it. It was because it's a hard demographic to crack there. It really is. It's almost like Grosse Pointe. It's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So
I would say the three, areas here locally where it's very tight like that.
Yeah.
You've got Grosse Pointe, you've got Ann Arbor, and you've got Birmingham.
Yep.
and Grand Rapids is like that a little bit right now. Yeah.
It's
so
getting
untold.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So, so I remember walking through that. They were actually putting it together because we were looking at office space.
Yep.
And we walked through, and I'm like, man, this place looks awesome. It's like, it's a really nice office. But okay, that's great. So you picked a really cool office, obviously.
We did. We moved there in 2016, and the reason why we chose Keller Williams too is they had a real focus on the team building.
Yeah,
And
that's their whole thing.
So our Next Home franchise was Next Home Metro, and we were like, we'll lose the Next Home, and we'll be Metro Group at Keller Williams, and it was great. So we moved over there in 2016. We built our team up as many as I think at our largest point we had 11 people on our team between 2 or 3 admin and then 8 or 9 agents.
You guys utilize a lot of marketing for the Metro Group. I feel like I see ads from you guys, like just smart placement, right? So talk to me about that. Was that a conscious decision, or was it just something you guys decided to do?
Well, no. I'm glad you noticed that because we worked really hard on our marketing. One of the things that Matt and I, when we put our heads together to do this, we said, we don't want to do what everybody else does. We don't want to be where everyone else is. And in 2015-16, I was like, there is a huge opportunity in digital marketing. And I don't think many people really know how to do it. So I kind of immersed myself in that. Yeah. And that's back in a time, before we were getting these really specific targeted ads. Like I'm thinking about, Starbucks right now, and I'm getting that ad on my phone. It wasn't quite like that back in 2016. So a smaller business owner, a smaller marketer like you guys or myself could be very effective for a very low price.
Yes, you can get in. The cost per lead, you still can, but it's not
like it was then.
Now it's very saturated. Everybody's kind of like jumping on the bandwagon. It's like the real estate's being taken up.
15 emails a day. For people trying to do the service
very
for
low
us, right? But they've caught on to the algorithms essentially, right?
It's and now it's almost annoying. And I almost want to like step away from it a little bit from a marketing standpoint because it's because it's like nobody wants to be that pestering like hey. Right. So now it's like how much value can we add and just hope the right person comes across our door.
Well, we struck while the iron was hot back then. And that's why I'm glad that you remember those ads. We don't do those really anymore. But we were marketing ourselves. So instead of a billboard and instead of being in people's mailboxes, I wanted to be on their phone and on their desktop.
Yeah, and your reach is more acute and more targeted, and you get more of a quality through that. Yep. Yeah, that's interesting. Because just my thought process is when we talk about marketing in real estate, the first thing that a lot of real estate agents go to are mailers, which it's tried and true. But they work. They work. But it takes a long time. It takes a lot of saturation. Right. It's expensive, right? Yes. Billboards, we see that works because that's in your face. Again, a lot of saturation, a lot of time and effort, a lot of time. And then like radio and TV, right? But very few people, even in our space locally, mortgages, they weren't going the digital route. Right. And I think there's a big opportunity there to be able to carve your niche and create your real estate in that before it gets too crowded.
And that's what we did. And it gave us the opportunity to do 2 things. It gave us the opportunity because the cost was so low to market our company, to market our agents in Metro Group. So we got our names and our faces out there. And it also gave us the opportunity to market our homes. That was one of the things that I wanted to do is I said, look, we're going to take professional photography on every single home. And this is back in 2016 when fewer people were doing it. Not everybody does it now still.
Dude, in 2016, there'd be a real estate agent on the toilet, like trying to take a picture of the bathroom.
You still see the hand in the cell phone in the mirror pictures.
It's to your point, now that's like kind of the norm.
Yeah, right? It's become a lot like everybody's leveled up.
Well, the bar's been set higher.
Yeah. If you want to compete now,
good.
Now you're getting the drone shots swooping in around the property. And
Matterports.
It's good for the industry.
Yeah, it's great.
Right? Yeah, you're getting the 3D, the Matterport stuff. You're getting drone. You're getting videography. People are getting a lot more creative with things. And that's a good thing.
That's a good thing because the competition's like
it pushes the business further, right? It just increases the level of competition that everyone has to play.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also adapting because first place everyone goes look at a home is Zillow or is online. So they're not going to drive past that house. They're not going to go walk in that house. They're going to look at it online first. And if you want to make an impression, you got to have good pictures. You got to have good content.
You have to. There's no way. Mark, do you ever feel through this process so far to where we are in this timeline right now that it was a race and you were being chased down every second? Like you had to get out in front of it? Because that's how I feel. I feel like I'm being chased down by an angry bear and I got to run fast.
Totally. I feel like you have to be. I always want to be on the bleeding edge, on the cutting edge of everything. I want to be one step ahead, and then everybody kind of playing up, to me. Am I there right now? I don't know. Maybe. I'm always, I'm a student of the industry. I'm a student of real estate. I'm a student of sales. And I am always trying to get an edge. And we're doing some things like I'm shooting a commercial today.
You are.
I am.
So a whole media day. You got the podcast.
I've got the podcast. I'm shooting a commercial later today.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, and I think that it might hit. And we're just going to try to get viral with it. I'm not going to put very much money behind it, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's different. It's timely.
Yeah.
And it's something that is shareable.
That's awesome.
In creative and.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I'm jacked about that.
Do we get to beta test it? Do we get to see it first?
I can't reveal it right now. I could, but then I'd have to destroy this whole room. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No,
it's too nice in
off
here.
air, just us.
Yeah,
to be able
yeah,
to see it.
total.
I'd like to see it.
Totally.
So that's awesome. So you're going into a new chapter, right? That's the thing about our business is there's always chapters, right? So now this is a new chapter.
So 6 months ago, Matt and I were sitting there, and the start of the year was somewhat difficult. We were working with a builder, and things didn't work out with that. And it was a moment in time for our company, and we kind of looked at each other in the eyes, and we said, hey, it's been a good ride. We had attempted to expand Metro Group into Novi. Our efforts to grow a team in Novi weren't really working. And so I said to Matt, what if you just were a solo agent? We had 3 other agents on our team. We said, we'll send them on their way. We did have 1 employee that we had to let go, which sucked.
That sucks, yeah.
It totally
Yeah,
sucks.
that sucks.
We did help her find another job, though, and she landed
That's
on
the
her
right thing to
feet.
do.
Yes.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
And and I became a solo agent also. So Metro Group is no more. It's just me. It's Mark Shaftner.
Got it.
And I tell you what, it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been great since I've been doing it since June, and I'm spending a lot less time. I'm spending no time really building a team. I'm spending all of my time working with my clients, working on my deals, communicating with my clients, and kind of going small to go big.
Makes sense. I like that. Yeah.
I thought that when we started the brokerage, the goal was, let's build a huge team. Let's have 30, 40 agents. Let's have a big office. Let's big. And I've gone completely the opposite.
Yeah.
Small. I'm actually working out of my house now.
Yeah.
And whereas I used to have a nice office space.
You've simplified everything, really.
And it's simplified everything. I feel like I'm working with each individual, each home, each buyer on a much more personal level.
Yeah.
And providing what I feel. And if you polled my clients, I think they would potentially agree, a higher level of service.
Yeah, well, you have the experience, you have the chops to do it, right? So, like, when you decide to do that, it's going to be good, right?
I hope so. That's the goal.
When you have a team or a business, though, like that effort that goes into the business itself, aside from the sales and everything that you kind of just autopilot do anyways to bring in company money, essentially, right? To cover overhead and things like that.
It's a lot of work.
It's tiring,
Yeah.
and it's like, man, I am tired. I am sick. I'd love to stay home, but you can't.
Especially when,
it's like,
I mean, I was there. I was working 100 hours a week, and that's just it's not sustainable to do that. And when the majority of your income comes from helping people buy and sell real estate, and then you've got a whole nother job, which is running this company, it can become very difficult. And I applaud the people that do it.
Yeah.
It is not easy to build a team and sell real estate.
Yeah. It really isn't. Like, even with us, right? Like, it's like trying to build a company. You have a lot to do, and now we're like trying to
You're either
level
working
up.
on your business or
in
your
it, right?
the easy thing would be for us 3 or 4 to just
Write loans.
Write loans,
It would be
Right.
it would be less complicated. Our lives would be less
And,
complicated. Yeah.
Don't
deals would
do
go-
that on account of me, guys.
I mean,
We're balls deep, dude.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you
But
got
there
a
might be
great
a-
team over there.
But
so.
there might be a time we look in our eyes and say,
This is this
that's
is
what we're going to do, right?
There might be
It's
a
all
point.
dependent, and it just depends on, I guess, what you're getting out of what you're putting in. Right now, things are good on our end, right? But
We kind of had the
things
opposite. We looked
change,
each other in the
markets
eyes.
change.
We looked each other in the eyes
And so
20 months ago, and we're like,
let's nut up.
let's build
We're
a
either
team.
going to
Double
do
down?
Yeah, we're either
Let's-
going to do this or not.
We could make a shitload of money if we just did it on our own, but let's build something.
Let's build a real company. But it's not easy, dude. To your
not
point,
easy.
man,
Yeah.
it is a lot of moving
Man.
parts.
Well,
And you don't make as much money because you got to put all the money back into the business.
Yes.
that was one of the things.
Yeah.
The other thing that I realized for me And I had been in leadership for about 10 years. And I realized I'm a better player than I am coach.
Sometimes it takes that realization, dude. Yeah.
I finally, after 10 years
That's
of being in
interesting.
leadership, I was like, you know what? I'm not the best coach.
You know, it's funny. So in my career, I've been in big teams. I've been in mortgages, but I've worked Quicken and I've worked at big teams where where we had 100 LOs and all this stuff, right? And a lot of times we would promote the best producer to be a leader, right?
Right.
And many times the best producer was not the best leader, right? They were just they were an amazing producer, but sometimes they were like they everybody thinks they want to be a leader sometimes. And
Most people do.
yeah, and when they get there, like, oh wait, I gotta be responsible to them.
I don't want to talk to clients anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's like for someone who's good at sales, right? That's like easy.
Yeah.
Right. It's like fun.
It's
Yeah.
like Michael
enjoyable.
Jordan. He was never a coach,
Yeah, he played. Yeah, that's a great point.
I don't know. I just shoot and it goes in. I don't know what your problem is. And that's like that was like me. It was like, I don't know. Work harder. Like I don't know.
Salvatore's like
what-
this 100%.
It's difficult.
Sal-
I'm like, why don't you get to
Sal
fill
will
the
say,
form out? They're like,
Sal will say
well, I
one
don't
thing
know.
one time. He'll be like, guys, you got to fill this form out. And then he's like, I don't understand why they're not filling the form out. I'm like, dude, they're not self-driven like you are. Like most people aren't that elite, right? So it's difficult.
true.
Yeah.
It was the same as me. That was my problem. So I had some issues with that.
Yeah,
too, but,
that happens.
yeah, try harder.
So that's it. So-
That's not the best leadership style.
Try hard.
Played better.
So that's awesome, man. So you went through this. It's a long journey, right? And you've gone through a lot. You've gained a lot of experience, but ultimately it got you to where you are today. And all that stuff is going to be really powerful for you to do whatever you want at this point.
Yeah.
Right. It really comes down to that.
And what I want to do is I want to sell real estate. I
That's
want to
it.
help people buy and sell real estate, and that's it.
And you're good with that.
I am good
That's
with
awesome.
that. I'm at a point in my career where, I get to work with the people that I want to work with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if somebody's an unrealistic seller or isn't a very serious buyer, I can say, you know what, I don't think I'm not your agent.
Yeah.
There might be somebody out there that is, but it's not me for right now.
Well, back to kind of the beginning of that conversation, you're in a good market to be able to do that because Birmingham is more of a boutique-y, smaller shop,
Correct.
type intimate place, right?
Well,
So
Part of
makes
it,
a lot
I
of
think,
sense.
of when you get to that point in your career and knowing what you do, like a lot of agents, a lot of loan officers, a lot of salespeople don't know what they actually do.
Right.
Right. They know that they're selling houses, but they don't know their own personal value that they can provide. Right. Like mine is, I don't have the lowest rate. Right.
Love
And I'll
that.
tell someone right up front,
Yeah.
like, let's
Yeah.
pull that Band-Aid off. Right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, right off the bat.
that's not who I am. If
Right.
you want to go work with some bank in Connecticut, go work with them.
I think
Yeah,
Sal,
'cause they will
I
give
hear
you the
Sal
best
say
rate.
that at least 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Stop
I am
around.
not the
And
lowest
9
rate.
out of
You want
10
to find lower
times,
cost? It's out there. Go
you're
ahead.
gonna
We're
get a
very
great
competitive.
deal.
We're competitive,
Yeah,
but
good,
it's
we'll
the
give
value.
you a good deal, but you know,
Yeah.
do you want this to go well or do you not?
Well,
Yeah.
and it's probably very similar for us too. If somebody wants to discount
Right.
my commission, my typical answer is no. I could.
Yeah.
There's certain
But-
instances
But what's the
where it
value
makes sense,
proposition?
right?
Yeah, but
Then I'd have to discount my value.
Exactly.
Right.
I
Then
won't.
you're not going to get all of me.
Yeah, I always say to people, I could, but you'd have to do me a favor. Don't hire me.
Yeah.
Because how good would I be at negotiating, $5,000 or
Right.
$10,000 on your home? I tell folks
That's
all
a
the time.
great line. Wow. That's a great way to look at it, dude.
Oh, I tell sellers, I tell buyers all the time, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 swings in real estate, they happen like that
All the time.
All the time. I want to make sure my client is on the positive side of that $5,000,
Right.
$10,000, $15,000
Yeah.
swing.
Cost of $3,000
and
to $5,000.
if you're trying to save a point, I'm not your agent.
Look, I understand a consumer trying to get pay less commission, especially when if it's a real estate agent, they've been doing it for 2 years or a year, then you do part time, whatever it may be. I can see that person being like, "You're not going to do." But when you hire a professional, like a top tier professional, you have to pay them what they're worth.
I commend the buyers, sellers, consumers who put out there like, hey, can you do this? Right. And
Sure.
the answer is yes or no.
Yeah,
Right.
sure.
And if the answer is no and they still want to work with you, you got a good client.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And they should ask.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
most people will.
Can't
And
get a yes to a question you never asked.
If they're going to use an agent that's willing to do that and they can get that, and more power to them, I hope they can get the job done for you, though.
That's
And
awesome.
get it, and you can be on the right side of those $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 swings.
All right, so
they won't be if you're working against me.
What's tough in real estate, real quick, sorry, is that they sign a contract though, right?
Yep, fact.
So with us, it's like
Man, you guys
I
have
know-
it tough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
people can
we can be-
fly like last
they-
second,
there's
right?
no-
But
I
it's
mean,
also
Closing table tomorrow, but they're
but
gone
it creates
today.
a great opportunity for us too, right? Well, I'm pre-approved with Quicken Loans, whatever, right? We got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we can just
We'll
essentially swoop that up, give them a better deal and a better experience, and
Well,
there's
that's
no contract.
That's good because I work with Nathan from your guys' team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
What a guy.
He's great.
Man,
he's a really good dude, man.
He's just such a good dude, and he's newer in the industry.
Yeah.
that guy works his ass off.
Works his ass
Yeah.
off.
and
hungry.
he's a student of.
I was so happy that he came over to our
He's a
team.
workhorse.
Yeah.
He's awesome, and I don't work with just anybody on the lending side of things. And I'll
Yeah.
work with Nathan, and Nathan's been in the industry for like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
and
but he gets it.
he gets it.
Yeah.
And I bring Nathan's name up because that happened to him. Some bank in Connecticut gave a lower rate,
Yeah.
and he lost the damn deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, Nathan.
like, right. But you know what? Nathan's going to grow stronger from
That
it. Right?
you got to
'Cause
you got to go through that.
He's like, as long as he's at the closing table, that's all that matters.
That's
I was like,
that's
Yeah.
the right answer, man. He's a good kid, man. Nathan, if you're listening, we're talking
I think
highly
he
of
is
you.
because he generally does listen.
He does
Yeah.
listen. He's a student of the game for sure. Okay, so I really want to get this because we're kind of running out of time.
Yeah.
So Mark did something unprecedented on our show. I asked him what he wanted to talk about, and he actually put something together. It was really nice.
Do we normally ask for people what they want to talk about?
Always, I'm always like the other things he want. So he actually did something really cool. He said he did 5 things I predict in 2020. So I want to go through them. It's really, really good. Yeah. So first one, which is I agree with, but it's controversial. Housing in Southeast Michigan will continue to boom. Can you tell us why you think that?
Well, it's going to happen. Everybody talks about when's the market going to crash.
Mm-hmm.
We hear that all the time. I have a client who has been saying to me for 4 years, I'm going to wait for it to crash, and it's like, dude, if you would have bought a house,
He's been waiting 15 years.
yeah, you would have made
Man.
50 grand.
Yeah, right. Or 10
Yeah,
years.
so interest rates are going to stay low.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, they are.
Inventory is going to remain steady.
Yes.
It's going to remain short. Actually, household growth is outpacing construction.
Yes.
So there is not enough construction. There's not enough affordable construction. Also, which there's another point about millennials here further. But the affordable housing for first time home buyers and first move up buyers, there isn't enough inventory.
It's very constricted.
It's very constricted.
Yeah.
So we are going to see 2020 be as busy, and I think potentially even busier than 2019 was. I think it might be at 2018 pace.
That was a wild year, by the way. Yes, 2018 was like Christmas. People were like, yes, yeah. I think we're seeing a little bit of a lull right now because there's a lot of talk about what's happening and they're worried. But once it starts going in, but to your point, not to cut you off, but builders aren't building first time home buyers, second time home buyers. They're not building. They're building $4, $5, $6, $7, $800,000 houses because the margins are so much bigger.
Yeah, in the areas, the desirable areas, but for the first time, we're also seeing areas like Madison Heights and
Yes.
things
Oak Park.
like developments,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Love those areas.
yeah, which is great.
Yeah. And so
But the first people take it on the chin.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I think we're going to see 2020 is going to be
All right.
another very good year for buyers and sellers. It's going to be a balanced year. Don't wait.
Yeah. And if you're like, oh, I want to wait for the recession. Well, listen, if you buy now, if there is a recession, it's gonna be a faster one. I don't think it's gonna be a long drawn out one like 2008. And you're gonna live in the house for 3-4 years. You'll still have appreciation through it.
For sure.
Right. So, okay. I feel very strongly about that. I agree with you. We will see an expansion of the iBuyer products and a major iBuyer player will enter our market. So I was reading about this. So this is interesting that you brought this up because this morning I was looking at this. iBuyers have not really come into Michigan yet.
There's a few people doing it on a small
Scale. But we have Open Door hasn't come. Zillow isn't here yet, right?
Yep.
So iBuyers become a real thing. The reality, though, is, and I'm sorry to pontificate, the cost is way more. But you tell me about what you think about the iBuyer platform.
Well, first of all, for the 4 other people that are listening right now,
Yeah,
that aren't in
our
mortgage.
joke.
I know your jokes. I've been listening to the podcast. So let's tell them what an iBuyer is.
Yeah,
It's an
good.
instant offer.
Yes.
You know, they'll come out. They won't even. They sometimes do, sometimes don't. Look at your house and they'll make you an instant cash offer closing in 2 weeks. There are a few people doing it on a small scale. In areas like Arizona, Phoenix, I think they're
Texas is big.
Texas,
Texas is one of the big markets.
I think Arizona had something like close to 20% of all deals were instant offers.
That's crazy.
They
Open Door.
were?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that stat.
And
Wow.
there's predictions that we can see it as high as 50%
Wow.
of all transactions.
Because people sometimes people just want out.
What do you think the iBuyer
simple.
companies are banking on? Right, holding this inventory and selling it, renting it. What do you?
So it's a couple of different things. You've got big money. You've got going in and
Hedge
buying
funds, essentially, right?
Yeah, hedge funds buying
Essentially what it
huge, buying lots of property, sometimes turning them into rentals, sometimes fixing and flipping. But it's in areas where the homes are a bit more algorithmic, where you've got tract homes with 500 homes in a neighborhood and 4 different floor plans. Here, and we have plenty of neighborhoods like that around South and East Michigan. Fewer of them in your Royal Oaks, your Birminghams. There's a lot more
More like the
variation.
McCombs and
Out in Macomb, Rochester Hills, we see more of those tract style.
Novi's starting to do that a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see somebody. It'll be Open Door. It'll be Zillow with their iBuyer program, and there's a few others the names are escaping me right now. I think we're going to see somebody like that
In 2020?
In 2020.
Oh, yeah, we will for sure. Yeah.
I think we'll see
in
it.
Michigan.
We have a big market, man.
Yeah.
But
we
to,
real
to
estate
your
markets.
point, I don't think we have enough of the cookie cutter type because those are desirable neighborhoods for that business model because it's a revenue predictor. Right?
Well, what I
Truth.
also think that we're going to see is the best brokers and best real estate agents are going to figure out a way to do it on their own. With
It's already it is starting to happen.
It's something I'm working on. I want to have that option. Hey, look, we'll
a
buy
genius
it.
business model.
We'll buy it and close right now. If you want to avoid the hassle of showings for this price,
Well, you already see it
I
on
think I
signs,
can
right?
buy our
I'll buy
house.
it. Yeah, I'll buy your
We'll
house.
buy, yeah, we'll
We'll
buy
buy
yours.
yours. Yeah. So it's out there, and you're going to see it expand in 2020.
By the way, I saw a closing statement from one of them. So for Open Door, they charged like almost 3%. No, I'm sorry, 7%. They didn't call it a commission. It was like they named it something like transaction fee or whatever. And then there was like a market depreciation. It was like literally like $35,000 in cost.
No kidding.
So it was over 6% was what they ended up paying for that. So the cost of it isn't there yet. But people don't know that.
They got to make money to do it. They're taking a lot of risk.
But they're doing it all up front. They're basically charging them points. But anyways, okay. Number 3, we will see major advancements in technology that will enhance both the buyer and agent experience. Love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
That's
that.
a given any year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's true.
it's happening. It's there's a big, huge race in technology, and that's part of the reason why I'm with Keller Williams. But they've been saying for the past 3 years that they've got this new technology that's coming out. They've been working on it. They've invested $1 billion. Damn it, they better get it done here pretty quickly.
By the time it comes out, it'll be obsolete.
Technology is a finicky piece of shit, though, because you think you got it and it doesn't work, and then you got to fix it, right?
Yeah. But what we're going to see is AI, artificial intelligence, like a Netflix experience for, and let me say this from the client standpoint of things, we're going to see a Netflix style experience where what comes to you, what gets sent to you, the houses that meet your criteria are based off of your behaviors and algorithms, and which I think is going to help buyers and sellers with their home searches, and it's also going to communicate back to the agent that Mr. and Mrs. Buyer are looking at 123 Banana Street, and it has white cabinets in the 2-car garage, just like they've been looking for. You should call them right now.
And Mark, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're basically saying that technology will enhance the human experience as opposed to replacing it.
Yeah, I think it's going to
Right.
enhance. Gary Keller talks a lot about the tech-enabled agent versus agent-enabled tech.
What I think
good.
it does is create
He's a
a lot
smart
of
dude.
efficiencies, right? Because again, that person, whether they're looking through the MLS, Redfin, Zillow, whatever, right? Like they might find that home.
Yeah.
It's just
You can do
Streamlining it,
You can
right?
buy a home on your own. You can sell a home on your, if you
Right.
want to do a for sale by owner. My advice is go for it. I don't care. Go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
I wish you all the luck. My
On our end,
clients,
it's a nightmare, just so you know.
I know.
It's a nightmare.
It's an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
I hate working with a buyer that wants to buy from a for sale by owner. If somebody wants
You
to
end
do
up
that,
doing the work anyways.
my clients don't
Yeah.
want to do that. My clients hire me because they're
They
not
want representation.
they're not on, they're not day traders. They hire somebody. to
Right.
manage
Dude, when we
their
get a FSBO, it's like,
Oh, my
the
God.
worst.
they're like, well, do you have a purchase agreement? I'm like, bro, no, I'm not
Your
an
agent would do
They're
that.
like, can you drop a purchase
Call an
agreement for us?
agent.
I'm not
Yeah.
a licensed
And then
realtor, dude.
I send them one, and they're like, it's all screwed up. They don't know when to close. What's an EMD? Who's paying taxes at closing?
What are prorations?
Even though they put it on the PA, they're like, what?
Occupancy.
What are these transfer taxes? I'm like, well,
There's a million things.
Yeah.
yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even buy a car without an agent. I mean, you don't even buy a speaker from Best Buy without a dude in a blue shirt
Telling you which
about
one's
it.
the best one. Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a house. It's a pretty large investment.
Yeah.
Right.
be your biggest.
All right.
Right.
Number 4, millennials will continue to be the largest segment purchasing houses. They're a huge population of people that are going to be buying houses,
Yeah,
man.
and many of them have waited. They've been on the sidelines.
They're bubbling it.
Yes,
And it's going to burst, and they're going to start purchasing.
and saving money.
They have been financially, fiscally sound.
I think
living
that
with their parents. They're
yeah.
smart. They're
They
smarter than
lived
we
through the
were.
shit. They lived through 2008, right?
They started work during
Yeah.
the recession.
It's also, I think, the hardest segment to save money, right? Like, I mean, that's, I think, why you can put 3% down on a house, right?
Yeah.
Like recently,
Yeah.
these programs rolled out because no one has 20% to put down on a house,
yeah,
dude.
but,
It's insane.
but you know how many times you have mom and dad pony up and they're like, well, I got the down payment, dude. That
Yeah,
happens
but
all
I'm
the
just
time.
saying, like, in general, like, I don't know a lot of people that have more than $5,000 in their bank account
Right.
because everything's so expensive, dude. And we talked about this before. Like,
Yeah.
a car in the 70s was like $2,000, right? And granted, I know, like, but if you compare that to wages now, like, your
Wages
wage
haven't
for the year
increased,
wasn't
yeah.
$2,000 in
Yeah.
1971. It might have been like 15.
Disposable
right?
income's
But now
much
it's
lower.
like, hey, I want to buy a Tahoe, $75,000.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was looking at a Land Cruiser, and it was like 85 G. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it's
Crazy.
just, and that student loans,
Well,
easy
student
access to
loans,
credit cards.
yes.
I mean, it's like, all right, well, you can buy per your gross income a $200,000 house, but you need 15,000. You have 3, and somehow, some way, you actually will go negative monthly, but we'll approve you for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well,
crazy.
we're seeing
tax.
what I'm seeing a lot with millennials is we have millennials going to purchase the home and the parents come with them.
For sure.
Which
All the time.
I'm all for it because I'm kind of in between Gen X and millennials. So the parents are kind of okay with me. Like, this guy's been doing this for a while. He seems like he's and the kids are like, I feel like I could have a beer with him.
Yeah.
So it works.
yeah,
it works
good.
really well for me. But
Yeah.
I love working with first time home buyers. I love working with millennials. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a ton more people purchasing homes that are in.
They're a
that
fun
age.
I
demographic to
think
work
if you're
with.
in this business too, like, it's always, when you have a client with their parent, it's always like they're the middleman. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
don't cut the middleman out, but go to the source. Let me call your parent, right? Let me call your mom. Let me
Yeah.
call your dad and talk to them and explain,
The
like,
actual
Bring 'em
decision
out.
maker.
that, this isn't 1982,
Right.
which is fine.
All right.
Get past the gate.
Next point, which is the final one, number 5, barriers to entry into real estate will increase. So today, to be a real estate agent, you basically do a little test, and you're a real estate agent. Congratulations.
Yeah, they give them out. They give out real estate license in Cracker Jack.
Well,
boxes.
everybody has a real
Yeah.
estate agent
Yes.
license, right?
Yes.
So this happened in mortgages, right? It became after 2008. It became much harder to be with regulation, to be a loan officer. I love that.
Yeah.
When I went through that, I was like, yeah, dude, because
goodness.
I wanted to like legitimize my industry, right?
Yeah.
And today, we're kind of I think real estate agents are kind of going through that too.
Yeah, this one isn't going to happen, unfortunately. But I wanted to
Not
put
in
it on
2020.
here. I'm
Not in
putting not in
2000, yeah.
2020. I'm putting it out there in the ether because I'd like to see it happen.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about on a podcast a couple weeks ago that it's 180 hours in the state of Texas.
Yes.
and I think they have to pass 3 different tests.
Correct.
In Michigan, it's a 40-hour class and it's a C- on a 100-question test to prove you're a real estate agent. And that is that.
Which,
that
by the way, after the
needs to
test, you
change.
don't know how to be a real estate agent.
No.
Not at all.
Same with being in the mortgage.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think would make sense almost is like an appraiser, for example, right? Like, which is crazy. I don't think people know how much work goes into becoming an appraiser.
It's pretty in depth. Yeah,
It's almost like an apprenticeship.
Clue.
yeah,
Yeah.
We have
Everyone's
no clue.
like,
Why is
that
it? There should
appraiser.
be
It's like,
there
what?
should be 20 hours on on appraisals of houses.
Yes.
for real estate
Valuations.
agents.
Yes.
But an appraiser can't, like, to be a full-on certified appraiser, right? Like, you have to do so many appraisals, I believe, under like
Right.
a
It's almost like
master.
a-
It's
yeah,
like
it's
an
like an
apprenticeship,
apprenticeship, yeah.
right? And I think that's how maybe like real estate should be. Like, there's a broker or someone that you, and I'm sure there'd be loopholes, right? But like all your deals go under someone.
Well, the thing about it this
until
way: to cut
you
hair,
graduate,
to cut
right?
hair, you've got to like be underneath someone and go to school and get certified and all this stuff. That's cutting hair. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in transactions. Like, it should be like a college course, or at the very least, some kind of certification that you've got to go through, right? Like
Yeah.
that.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I don't really know if it will, but I think
Yeah.
it's easy to get a real estate license and then you're done.
Yeah.
I'd like to see those barriers to entry
Yeah.
increase in all of us, because I take my profession very seriously.
Sure.
And many people do, and there's some great real estate agents in Southeast Michigan, but there are some not good ones also.
Yeah. All right. So, Mark, we're going to do our 3 questions.
Let's do it.
You ready? So, first question is always the same for new people. What scares Mark Shaftner?
What scares me?
He's got a prepared answer.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Did his homework.
Definitely afraid of heights.
Really?
Really?
I'm super
Like how high? Like, are we talking ladder high? Or are we talking like cliff
No,
high?
I'm talking cliff high.
Okay.
I can't look over an edge of something. The thought of it right now.
You're getting like your face is like
getting vertigo?
Yeah.
I can feel it. And a good story. I went to Costa Rica with some friends, and they said one day, "Oh, we're going to Monteverde for 2 days." We had an Airbnb up in the mountains. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure." And we are driving up the mountain, and all of the sudden, it goes down to like a 2-track up the side of a cliff, and I am on the window looking down to certain death.
Of like a Suzuki.
Yeah, of a
Sounded that.
Samurai.
Sounded
Sal,
that.
you did it.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Pretty sketchy.
it was the worst hour and a half of my life.
You're dying.
I sent my location to my mom. I was like, "Mom, this is where I am. If this, I was thinking, I was like, I can get to the bottom of this mountain. I totally can."
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was that way in Costa Rica though about spiders.
Oh.
I'm just thinking they're like in drawers.
I hate
and all
spiders,
over the
dude.
bed. I'm like, oh my god, get me home.
And those are like jungle spiders.
How do you feel about the Mackinac Bridge? Have you ever driven over it?
I have. It doesn't scare
Moves
me.
you over the edge.
Because you're not really looking right over the edge. It is
kinda
freaky.
like
It's a
driving
it's a
forward.
big.
I like to
bridge.
drive over it, open my door, look at the grades.
So roller coasters aren't your thing.
Yeah, well, it's some things. It's like the edge of a cliff. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if I could lose my footing, if I could slip,
Yeah, it's the lack of. Yeah, that's
it's the lack of control. Like the
Yeah.
Mackinac Bridge, a lot of people go over.
So
that.
like
It's
super
probably
large
okay.
staircases to like not staircase, but like an outdoor staircase to like a water slide or something, right? Where you're like looking over the
Well,
edge.
I could no. I'd be like,
Like a fire escape in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to like focus on something.
Yeah. All right. We're just trying to freak you out now.
Good job, guys. Thanks.
Next,
your eyes.
Next
Picture this.
question is if you could spend a week in somebody else's body, who would it be and why?
Okay. I did hear this one. I didn't really think, but so there's this guy named Matt Frazier, who is the fittest man in the world. So I'm into fitness.
I've seen this guy. Yeah,
I do
yeah,
CrossFit.
yeah.
Matt Frazier is the fittest man in the world. I would like to know what it would like to be him.
Be him.
The things that I see this guy do, it's like
I want to do a
That's
one
insane.
thumb push up.
yeah, right. That's insane. I think it would
Like
be
his
pretty cool.
pull up
to-
game is crazy.
this.
I mean, he literally just will do anything. Like it's
I don't know,
unreal.
man. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about
I think it would be pretty cool to be Matt Frazier, and of course, I'd like to be Brad Pitt. I mean, he's the
I'd like to be.
that-
I mean,
that would
not
be
Brad
rad.
Pitt like 15 years ago.
Yeah, well,
Not
even
like
today.
Bradley Cooper.
I mean,
He's
You,
18.
you guys have crushes?
I do.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Bradley Cooper, huh?
I'd like to be Dax Shepard.
Dax is pretty cool. He's got a
pretty
yeah,
cool.
Mainly
yeah.
because his wife is
Awesome.
awesome.
Awesome, dude. She's one of the most awesome. So, last question is: if you were on a deserted island by yourself, what is the one item that you'd want to have with you?
Okay, this question I didn't hear, so I am totally
Just one.
shooting from the hip here.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd have to have some sort of like machete.
That's what I
cut
said.
things, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's not a knife.
Yeah.
This is a knife.
Yeah,
Nobody who's listening knows what we're talking about.
Yeah,
But,
I'd want
no,
some
I'd bet
sort of
you.
machete because I could potentially like make sparks and create a fire with it. I could cut down shit,
Protect
and
yourself.
protect
sharpen shit.
myself.
Make a shelter.
Yeah.
What did someone say
little
last week that
spike
was
pits.
really smart? Do you remember what it was? Someone
like
said
it was
something. Or like,
a
why
guitar or
why
something,
oh no, multi-tool. Who said the
That was
multi?
me.
Yeah.
But that wasn't. I don't think that was. on-
Machete's better though, man. I
That's
mean, yeah.
a special episode. I think it was.
Yeah, it was. Oh, wait, nobody heard that yet. Oh, my bad.
I did a machine gun with unlimited ammo. So I can
there
cut
you
down
go.
trees. I
If
can
you want to
Unlimited
hear more
ammo.
about what we would pick, listen.
Sal loves his
Was it
guns.
Christmas or New Year's that episode?
Yeah, it's coming out. I guess I don't know. I'm all turned around. It's the holidays. I'm drunk. So,
At 9:30.
yeah. Mark, can you tell the audience how they can get a hold of you, man? Because you obviously are professional in your craft. So,
Sure. Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks, guys.
of course, yeah, no, it's been
a lot
awesome.
of fun. Seriously. Instagram.
Yeah, that's how the kids do it these
Yeah.
days.
Follow me on Instagram at Mark Shaftner. Text me on my cell 248-396-1741 or go to markshaftner.com.
You can even Google him. That's what I did.
Google me.
Yeah, you're on the Google.
Yeah.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah, shit. All right, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Obviously, we really appreciate all the support. If you are still listening and you made it all the way this far, please go ahead and rate us on all the podcast apps.
5 stars, please.
5 stars, please. That'd be nice. All right.
Don't rate us if we're gonna do 1.
All right, yeah. Peace out, everyone. We are done. Where's our? Oh, hold on.
What?
Mark, we got to get off the air, buddy. I think we're still live. Mark?
There?
Yeah, I don't know.
That wasn't there.
Oh, is he?